This is a video that describes the unique jet fueling system for vacuum filling a bubbleless tank. Now, if you're going to vacuum fill, first of all, you either need a jet tank or you need a Tetra tank that's been modified for vacuum filling. That is, no overflow. This is what we call the jet tanker, which is nothing more than a big syringe. Ideally, when you're filling a bubbleless tank, you need to have part of the tanker not filled. For instance, in this particular case, there's about 6 ounces of fuel in this, leaving the other 6 ounces empty. Now let me show you why that's important. If you attach, and you have to fill through the fuel side, if you attach the tanker to the tank and you draw a vacuum, and the vacuum is very important because you need all the air out of the bag. You draw a vacuum, you hold the tanker vertically. You see the bubbles coming back? That's pulling all the air out of the tank. At this point, there's very little air in the tank. Now, all the air goes to the top. This is how much air that was in this tank. So when you fill, you put the fuel back into the tank. And I always tell people when they're first doing this, it's best to do this on the bench because you can see what's going on. You can see the size of the bubble and you can see how good a job you're doing filling the tank. So in this particular case, the tank's almost full, almost full. It's now full. You can tell when it's full by just the pressure. I usually say use 1 thumb pressure to fill the tank. No more. No pushing, just that amount. Now in this particular case, there is a bubble in here about this big. That's normal. You've done a good job filling the tank. It'll not cause you any difficulty when flying. If the bubble is much bigger, then you need to practice more to make sure that you get a good vacuum on the tank. After the tank is filled, then you disconnect. Hopefully don't spray fuel all over the table. And reconnect to the system. Now see it running out? That's typical of a bag. A bag will drain. That means you have to have some kind of a clamping system, sometimes just a clothespin, sometimes a forceps, sometimes something you make homemade. But that's the downside of the system. It will sit there and empty itself if you don't have some kind of a fuel set off. But the upside is you get perfect engine runs.